Bakit ang hirap magmahal? Kailangan pa ba talagang masaktan?
Am I even worthy of love? Kamahal-mahal pa ba ako?
Ginawa ko naman ang lahat para mapasaya siya. Pero bakit ako sinaktan?
He left me broken, unsatisfied, and in need of love.
After everything I've been through,
Kaya ko pa ba magmahal ng tunay?
then I found you.
You found me at a time I was overflowing with love.
A love that emanates from Jesus.
In spite of difficulties, I choose to commit.
In spite of stress, I choose to serve.
In spite of my imperfection, I choose to accept.
Loving is hard.
But in spite of this, I still choose to love.
Peace like a river wash over me. Immerse me in water as deep as the sea. Hide me in love, your healing embrace. Peace like a river wash over me. As I worship your majesty, I worship your holy name. Jesus, my everything. All that I am is yours. Come, Holy Spirit, rain down on me. Break open the heavens and drench the unseen. Oh, pour out your presence as I pour out your praise. Come, Holy Spirit, Lord, have your way. As I worship your majesty, I worship your holy name. Jesus, my everything. All that I am is yours. I worship your majesty. I worship your holy name. Jesus, my everything. All that I am is yours.
Open the heavens, fling wide the gates, flood every heart with mercy. Pour out your presence, inhabit our praise as we cry, holy, holy.
Open the heavens, fling wide the gates, flood every heart with mercy. Pour out your presence, inhabit our praise as we cry, holy, holy. Oh, Come now in power, cover this land like you've done it before. Would you do it again? Lord, send revival, Lord, send it now. A move of your spirit, heaven break out. Come now in power, cover this land like you've done it before. Would you do it again? Lord, send revival, Lord, send it now. A move of your spirit, heaven break out. Come now in power, cover this land like you've done it before. Would you do it again? I worship your majesty, I worship your holy name. Jesus, my everything, all that I am is yours.
Guys, hello. Welcome back to Big Friday once again. So, can you just wave at your cam to, alam mo yun, to just say hi to the people around us tonight. Okay. So, hi guys. Good evening. So, what a wonderful another opportunity to gather. Even bisan online lang, di ba? It is an encouragement to see everyone tonight. All right. So now, this is not just an ordinary Big Friday because tonight we are officially wrapping up our Love Does series. Okay. Now, before we formally and officially begin our program tonight, first let me introduce myself. My name is Nixman, and I'm your MC, host, moderator for tonight. Okay. And of course, I'm not alone. I want to introduce also my partner. I am joined with my fellow kaibigan. Okay. Kisa may nag-iwan. Kaibigan. Mai! Guys, let's welcome my partner tonight, Mai. Hi, Ate Mai.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see everyone, guys. Disclaimer lang, dili kami ang panelist. I know we look great. Wow!
Reporter lang po. Reporter lang.
Reporter lang po.
Newscaster lang po.
Well, hello, Kuya Nix. All right, good evening,
Hi.
everyone. So yes, Mayini here, and it's really nice to see you all once again. So now that you mentioned it, Kuya Nix, by the way, yes, this is the last segment na jud of our Love Does series.
Yes.
But of course, we have nothing to be sad about because we are ending it on a high note, diba?
Yun.
So, as
High
we
note.
conclude,
Unsa ka high? Hi! Anyway.
okay,
Yeah,
anyway,
thank you.
as we conclude tonight, Big Friday, we are actually having a question and answer session with some of our invited special guest panelists. So,
Yun.
if you are excited, hit the party emoji na, guys. And
Heart emoji,
a
guys.
heart ba? A heart or
Heart
party?
ba or like, okay, party.
If excited.
Pwede.
Okay. So if I were you, start formulating your questions, write them down. If you have questions and clarifications, throw it all to them. They're ready. They were born for this moment now. So,
Yes.
Kuya Nix, I'm sure you have many questions. So,
Uy,
ow.
grabe. Yeah. Actually, ready na po ko mo ask Ate Mayin. Pero of course, we will give the floor to our audience first, okay? By the way, shout out to our friends who are here tonight. Thank you guys for joining us, and we highly encourage you guys out there to ask your question to our panelists, okay? Directly. Not to be shy. You can unmute yourself and just, alam mo yun, just
Talk
throw in
freely.
your questions. Yeah. And promise, our panelists are so friendly. They won't bite. Okay. And there's also parang cell phone number provided. So you can text that number sa chat box, and then we will read your questions from there. Okay? So, Ate Mayin.
Okay. So, ayun, if you wish to be anonymous, I repeat,
Yeah.
just text to 0919-004-6 6639 and send in your GCash for daily
Yeah. Ay, alam mo, magpa-load Kasi magpa-load niya mo, anak ka naman.
Both or
Text
GCash. Send GCash in bitaw. So of course, Kuya Nix, dili na natudugayan pa. Madugay
Yes.
ata.
So, say dugayan.
So let's introduce our first couple for tonight. So, are you ready to meet them, guys? It's not a surprise. We post na sila sa Facebook. So,
Yeah.
guys, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. and Mrs. Lopez. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Nice
This
one,
couple
guys.
met and became friends in the big singles ministry. Oh, Stanley has worked as a manager in Alliance Software for the past 17 years, and his love for coffee eventually turned into a coffee cart business called Happy Coffee.
Yun. Grabe ha. Nasa Happy Valley, Happy Coffee pa yun,
Coffee,
Happy Couple pa
right.
yun. Sana nandun sila.
Diba?
Grabe. Tanan happy.
Let me finish my intro.
Okay. Go. Sorry.
Wala pa Q&A.
Nahappy lang ko. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, meanwhile, Izella has been working as a virtual assistant for the past 2 years. So they have been married for a year and a half and are expecting their first baby soon. Woo! So congratulations.
Yes, guys.
Yeah, as a couple, kaya next day, enjoy watching movies and playing arcade. So, mga competitive kayo din. So, once again, let's give a warm welcome to Stanley and Izella Lopez. Okay,
Yes.
your
Hi guys.
turn.
Maybe you want to greet our friends Sly and Easy. I can say say something.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for coming. And thank you for inviting us.
coming. Nice. Ayos Thank you for coming. Thank you guys for saying yes to our invitation. Okay. All right. So guys, let's move on to our next couple. By the way, again, congrats Sly and Easy for your upcoming baby. We're so blessed and happy to be part of your celebration. Okay, celebration. Okay. Now guys, our next panelist naman, let's all give a big Cebu warm welcome to Mr. Ako na ning gikuya, so kuya na lang, so Kuya Dino and Ate Carol D. Okay? So si Kuya Dino is currently the CCF Cebu campus missionary for Elevate Youth Ministry. Full-time yan, guys. Okay? And then si Ate Carol naman, she became a full-time homemaker in 2018 and bakes part-time. Okay sila yung partner, no? Like, we will eat ang niluto ni Ate Carol and then we will have coffee ni Sly and Easy. Diba? Thank you, guys. And then they have been married for, 10 strong years. 10 strong years. Okay? And they have a 4-year-old son named Remy. Both Kuya Dino and Ate Carol have a passion for cooking. Okay? And they enjoy reading and watching shows that help them become better cooks. Okay? I assume ba since siya katong sikat na cook. Okay. They also love watching movies and TV series together. Guys, let's all welcome Kuya Dino and Ate Carol. Hi guys.
Oh, welcome. Kuya Nix, busog kayo ta ani nga couple, no? Coffee, cooking shows, food.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a Q&A session. I think recipe.
Hindi ko alam kung Big Friday ba yun or anyway.
Lifestyle Network.
Sir, Kuya Dino and Ate Carol, maybe you want to say hi to our friends and audience tonight.
Sure, thanks, man. Thank you, everyone, for having us this evening. It's an honor. Please go easy on us tonight. Thank you.
All right. Sige. So, guys, we're so excited tonight of learning, of encouraging, and I do hope na nag-dinner na mo because we would not want you to miss a single moment of this Q&A. Okay, so chill lang.
Yes, so guys, if ever you take advantage of tonight's Q&A portion. So, Phoenix, let's officially open the floor or the Zoom or the screen for the
All right.
All right,
So,
ask away,
right,
guys.
you
Go.
can text read your questions, okay? Nice kain ikape ba while listening to Q&A, nindot kain ikape. Anyway, like Ate Mayin, while waiting for them, maybe nag-formulate pa sila question. We have prepared a question na. Okay? So hopefully this question will keep the momentum going. All right? Sige. So the, so our first question for tonight, let me read. It says, is it necessary to share your past sins to someone you are currently dating? And if ever you will share your past sins, when would that be the right time? When's the right time daw to share your past sins? Or is it necessary ba daw to share your past sins to someone you are currently dating? Okay, you're still dating pa. Okay. So, maybe we can ask Sly and Easy since they are still parang newly couple pa. Oh, sige.
Yes, thank you, Nix, brother Nix. I'll answer first the second question.
Okay. When would be the right time?
Yes. For me, the right time will be before marriage. And on the first question, yes, it is necessary. I'll share to you our experience before with when I was dating with Easy. I remember that I don't know if she can remember. She used to grill me if there's
Grill.
things that I'm gonna gitago pa na to siya. And I realized that it will become easier if I tell her all of my past sins before we get married, because I also think that if I tell her after we get married about my past sins, she would think that I'm kanang selfish bitaw, kanang wala ko nisultidaan before na vinyo me. Maybe she would think na kanang sigurista kay ko. Akong gi-make sure daan nga adisa na ko itago, adisa na ko isulti tanan akong past, and make sure na she will accept me and marry me. So moto, I think that it will be easier for me. It will save me from troubles if I tell her everything before marriage.
Yeah, exactly. Before kay mag-real gid ko niya, like concept ni like in ani like naka-try na kaging ani naka-try na. What? So he expects I expected him good to answer like honestly, and then from that time he would really share to me. But before he pursued me, he told me about kanang how past life, mahana, but not that into details bitaw. So
not everything.
Not everything. So when we were together na, yun, nag-grill na.
Nag-grill na.
Also for me, I also shared my past experiences that I really planned na whoever na kinsa kong mamenyuan, kaya I need to say that to that person, to say that details into sa kana na person. So yun na.
Okay. So basically it's about accountability, no? You really need
Yes.
to share. And then, yun nga, ingon si Sly, before marriage. Para everything is like parang, ano na ka, parang open book na gyud ka. Before committing to much serious na commitment. Diba? So, thank you, Easy and Sly. By the way, for our audience, guys, Easy and Sly, maybe you can share to us how you guys met. Okay? And then, how did Sly decided na kani si Easy siya na gyud. So how? And then lastly, how many years you guys are dating before ni Pop na gyud ang question na okay kanang this is really going to the road of marriage na gyud. Okay. So number one, yeah, how did you guys met?
We met during I can't remember when, but I met him sa boat on the way to Big Converge.
2017.
2017 sa Dakar. And then he met me. It was a interaction. I don't know. Ikaw.
I just barged in sa between conversation nila with JC and Easy.
Oh.
Feeling close lagi. Doon ako kalit. And then I don't know, na-shock si Easy, and then that was our first conversation actually, pero short lang conversation, and kind of feel na nailaw ako gamay. Okay. Exit.
Wow ba?
Nagkain ko siya sa conversation mo.
Ayun. Oh, guys, you know na, lesson learned. Join Converge. Okay?
Yeah, Converge, Dakar. And then,
And then, yeah, how did you guys decide na, or like for Sly, how did you decided, bro, na
How did you know that she's the one?
how did you know? Parang
Ayun.
inato.
Before
Yan yung
jumping to that,
Ano question yata ni Noreen yata. Ano eh. Yeah, how did you know? How did you know?
but
Yeah.
before jumping to that question, I of course, ako sa siyang giila jud through message, chat, and then eventually I nagkuyo ko sa mga friends, then getting to know Jud Easy, but during that time it was 2018, no? I learned that she was about to go to abroad in Vietnam, but
Gipaspasan niya.
double time and effort.
Double time. Okay.
So fast forward, how did I decide, no?
Yeah, how did you decide?
Actually,
She's the one. What you deciding?
Actually, it was I prayed for it. I remember the verse. It was Psalm 23. Just a background lang, anong motto murag answer sa akong prayer kay before my akong mga past relationship was really a kanang mess, failure, and then I was kind of scared na to enter a relationship. Then also I felt comfortable being alone, being a kind of single, because I enjoyed so much being single. I can travel alone, I can do things alone. So in short, I was in my kind of comfort zone, but so, and then when I met her, I invested my time to her, but the kanang pinaka-fun yung decision ako is kato yung answer si Lord's past, but katong na-pray ko na kanang muna di siya, and ayaw nagka-scared or ayaw nagka-fun. Okay. to
Eh,
commit.
siya na yun.
So muna to, siya na
Yeah.
dyan. And then it was I think September, and then fast forward to December na siya sa Vietnam. I continued to pursue her, and even kanang giadto dyan ako siya sa Vietnam para to
Aloy.
kanang
Sana all right. Sana all
personally
na ipamlite pa
kanang
dong Vietnam.
partner.
That before I met him sa boat, diba? And I always had this prayer in my heart na, Lord, if you would tell me that someone is for me, please tell me directly. I don't want na kanang di mag-guess ko or something like that. So when I saw him, there was a whisper bitaw. Sometimes maghimo ko whisper in my mind na muna na siya. But
Kasi si Slyra dito
was really a whisper. I don't know, like it was really a whisper na kana like siya na, like something like that. Siya na. So I was like, what? Kailan niya? I don't know him. I don't know his background. I don't know anything. So like weird. Wala rin ako. Never mind rin ako. And then one time he would tell me about, like he would reply to my IG stories, and he was like, say na pretty paano? Wala yung tip.
Grabe, happy guys.
Reply sa IG story, ana. And then he would say na, ngayon ka na, you look good, and asumar, weird. Then after that, we got to know each other. And then right before he went to Vietnam to visit me, I also prayed to the Lord na, Lord, if he asked permission from my parents, na he would come here and tell them na this is his intentions and all that. Okay, sige mo na gyud ni. Okay, I was really undecided at that point because I was away. Yeah. Unsure ko kay basta hindi nakatay makitaan dito, di ba? So I was unsure, but I talked to my parents, and then I talked to the Lord and prayed about it. And then the answered prayer siya, kay he really confessed, or he really pursued me through my parents. So bisan di kay sila kaila, but he really talked to them. And then yun na. Then it started from there. Yun.
Nice. Thanks guys for sharing. Sly, when you made that decision na siya na good, it's an easy decision, no? Diba? Yeah, it's an easy decision. So, praise God. Guys, napay-usa, how many years dahil mo kanang dating before
Before marriage?
Yeah.
Almost
1 year.
Almost 2 years. I was in
Almost 2
Vietnam,
years.
and then yeah.
She came home 2019, and then we already talked about getting married. And then our plan was at first December, or
that's
2020.
August 2020. So I was waiting for him to propose, pero wala. Tugay tungod sa pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic came, so
Na-late. Na-delay. So, but then, yeah, we got married November 2020.
2020. Wow. Praise God for you guys. Thank you Thank you so much for sharing your journey, and indeed we're blessed na you were parang dagha mga challenges along the way. Literal yun na layo, diba? Pero yun, you guys really hold on to God and His leading, and of course you did it the right way ba. Of course dili man na siya overnight, so all those factors contributed. That's why naka-decide sila that this is really from the Lord. So thank you guys. Guys, can we give them a round of applause? Thank you. It's an easy decision for Sly. Uh, all right, now let's go to our next panelist, Ate Mayin. Diba?
Yes. I think before we ask them a question, we also want to get to know their love story.
Yes.
So same set of questions
Yes.
for let's see test of marriage if they remember how they met and how did Kuya Dino decide that Ate Carol is the one, and how many years did you date before
Guys, yeah.
popping the question? So please let us know.
So we met in college. Before getting married, we dated for 3 years. How we met was, Carol she's the most hardworking working student at school. And our school wasn't that large, so I see her everywhere, right? She works all the jobs. She's the highest paid working student in the campus. So, morning when I go to class, she's on the front desk. And then in evening time when everyone's already gone, she's still working. So, I had really great admiration for her hustle. Kasi, even like, especially for university, right? Usually a lot of kids think about like university is where we let loose, especially kids from strict high schools relate, right? College becomes freedom. But Carol, wala, she didn't waste her time, right? Even sa school pa lang, she was already hustling. And so I was really attracted about that stuff. About that quality that she had. Kasi, it's discipline. I think that displayed a lot of maturity on her part. So yeah. And then she's a good student. Talagang my future, di ba? Kasi quality, galing sa academics, really great attitude, she's very talented, she's very hardworking. So I pursued her, and then sinagot ko rin siya. Yun. Joke lang. Siyempre walang gano'n. And then how did I know? Kasi we dated for a very long time, and it wasn't all smooth sailing, right? We even dun sa dating part, we went through a lot of challenges, and it was in those hard times that I was really able to say to myself, I really love this girl. I want to get married to this girl. Kasi I believe it's in the hard times that your love gets really tested. It's so easy to say, I love her so much when she's done something when she's done something really sweet, or she's been really thoughtful, or it's been a great season or a great month of dating. But it's in the hard times, right, that I ask myself, okay, why am I still here? Because I love her, and I love her a lot. So yeah, it was sometime in the dating that it was really easy for me. Anything to add?
Like Dino said, actually, to connect the story actually connects with your question previously to the Lopez family. How I knew Dino was the one was actually when I was convicted to tell Dino my past sins. So surprisingly, instead of getting angry, he just forgave me right then and there. And that's when I knew that, and I wasn't a Christian actually before we met. So I was still a young Christian when we were dating. So much of, God's love and all that, it was still quite blurry for me. But I think it was really shown through Dino when he really just forgave me on the spot. It wasn't really unnecessarily anything that I did to him. Like I said, it was a past sin. But he was just so ready to forgive me, and I was very grateful of God's grace during our relationship, And I really felt that this man is for me because he was able to allow myself to unburden all of my past secrets, things that I've done, and to our relationship ever since we allowed ourselves to have open communication.
So, ayun. I think that's it. Was that it? So, Ate Carol, follow up. How did Kuya Dino say yes to you daw?
I threatened him with my butcher's knife.
Actually, can I share?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Actually, when I say that I pursued her, I use the term really loosely. Um, I, of course, I want to set the context that when we got together, it wasn't a Christian relationship. But the way it happened was basically me trying to get to know her, asking her out, and then almost immediately expressing my interest in her and my feelings for her, that I like her, that I like her for these reasons. And then it was just a matter of if she liked me back. And if she hadn't decided yet, then okay lang. Anyway, she's okay to go out. We can just go out casually, right? It's like I get to know things until she was able to say she felt the same way. So there wasn't really like sagutin mo ko, can I be your boyfriend kind of thing for us. I don't know if it's because I was already like in my early 20s at the time. So parang I didn't have that kind of paradigm that I ever picked up it. Culturally speaking, yung ligaw and then sagutin mo, we didn't have that. It was just honest, right? I have feelings for you, and then when she had feelings for me, we just sort of that's what we told our friends that we were dating. Yeah, so wala nang sagot-sagot, wala nang yes. Yeah. Sa proposal na yun.
So, Kuya Nix, wala na daw sagot-sagot. Just tell.
Wala nang tanong-tanong.
Wala
Sagot na
tanong-tanong.
diretso. Wala nang tanong-tanong.
I like you. Ano ba? I like you. Ano na? Ganun.
I like you. I share you. I comment you.
Ayun.
Anyway, thank you Sir Dino and Kuya Dino and Ate Carol for sharing your background in your relationship.
Love story.
Yes, love story. By the way, we have another question which is we would like to ask for Kuya Dino and Ate Carol. So the question was, what was the most significant lesson or lessons that you guys learned in marriage that you think you wouldn't learn being single? So ano yung mga lessons na na-learn nyo in the season of get married na you wouldn't learn when you're single? Maybe you can share some.
Sige, una. For me, the first one is when you're married, especially when you have kids, you're gonna have to orient your me time according to Christ's commands and your spouse's preferences. Now, this may initially sound like you're going to lose time for your solo hobbies and interests, but if you're both doing this for one another, you'll experience even better me time in your marriage life than when you were single. Because there's that feeling, parang, I'm gonna have to sacrifice my me time, but I like this, she's not into it, so I don't want to do it. I don't want to sacrifice my me time. But if you're both sacrificing for one another, you come together during your me time, and then it's so much better, right? Because that's what marriage is. It's oneness. Alam ka naman, you get married and then you just do your own thing, right? That's you're missing out if that's you. And I picked this up when I got married because I had a lot of solo me times as a single guy. That I didn't even let it change when I was dating Carol, and I was very convinced that after we got married, I was going to maintain these hobbies. So when I had a lot of conflict schedule-wise now with my me time, that's when I realized these things, and spiritual kuyas told me that it's not a realistic expectation, and you should enjoy me time with your spouse. The second one is I didn't pick this. It's not that I learned this in marriage, but more like I experienced yung impact of it in marriage. I would say the second one is marry someone who will help you have better and better relationships with your family, especially with your parents. In Galatians 5:20, it talks about the works of the flesh, which include faction, dissension, and discord. And this happens, especially, sometimes pretty common. Sometimes when people get married, the wife doesn't like the in-laws and vice versa, or the husband doesn't like the in-laws, vice versa. And so the person in the middle, they get really stuck, and they have to. Sometimes they're even made to choose. Sila o ako, and then it's really horrible. And from our experience, even in Christian marriages, nangyayari yun. And sometimes they just sort of think like this is normal, right? I can be Christian and then hate my mother-in-law, like hate. Like I'm not gonna go to the reunion, gonna live it. And so for me, I share this because, everybody's flesh wants division and separation from people they don't like. But so whether you're really close to your family already, or you have an estranged kind of relationship, choose someone who will help you close the gaps in your familial relationships with love and tenderness, and not someone who will widen these gaps. And my wife is that person. She's incredible to my family. They can attest to that. I would say she probably loves my family more than I do, because it's through her loving them that I got influenced to care more for my brothers, to care more for my mom, for my dad. So that'll go a long way in your marriage, if you're able to pick someone who's not gonna tear you away from your family. Yun. Kasi din may mga kilala akong ganun. Even if I don't have that in my marriage, and I'm really blessed for it, we know of marriages where the wife really sort of stressed out the husband because she didn't like her in-laws, and vice versa in other marriages. And so maganda lang maiwasan if it'll be good for your soul. Yun.
Wow, actually there's a lot of things that you learn when you're married. Even if you've been married as long as we have. But I think one of the biggest things for me when I was single and when I became married was your spouse will not complete you. It's really God that will complete you. And I think I was completely lost when I thought that because God has given me this man who I thought would complete me, fix me up, and all that, so everything would be perfect, everything would be fine, but that's not true. Marriage is hard work. It's a constant work every single day. But I've learned that as much as possible, you really cling on to God. He can really help you be complete in Christ, so that when you meet your husband halfway, you're both complete, and so that the marriage then, the force, which is the Holy Spirit, of course, will then push you two together to become one. That's how the marriage will work. And second, I think it would be God's grace is sufficient for any married couple. Because like I said, it's a lot of work, and sometimes there are just a lot of disappointments that can happen. Because being single, you do what you want with your own time. You can make decisions for yourself. You don't need to consider another person. So once you're married, you're constantly living with this person. You have to constantly think about them, what's best for them, have their best interests at heart at all times. And it's really His grace talaga that makes it work, and make yourself not wallow in pity because things doesn't happen a certain way for you or how you want it to be. So yeah, I really these are the two very important lessons that I've learned since I've gotten married.
Tapos pag wife ka pa, sasubmit ka pa. O, di ba? Di, talaga. I mean, I respect wives for that, because they understand it and they struggle with it. And sometimes I'm not worthy of submitting to. Pero Carol does it in the small and in the big things. So single women, you have to think about that. Are you going to be okay with that? Diba? Especially if you're the boss of yourself. Tapos when you get
it's
married, you
definitely
have
a
to
very
submit.
big transition, especially I think for women.
Si Izzy mo, relate. No, di ba? Appear.
Ayun. Kuya Nix, I have a follow-up question. Okay, for
Yeah,
the
go.
I
Shoot.
know for the ladies. How was it like submitting to your husband? Was it easy or hard?
Was it easy?
Stock lang? Or
Was
easy
it easy? Or sly?
or super easy?
Sige, maybe you can ask
The
easy.
ladies.
Si
Easy.
easy first. Yeah,
Uh-uh.
you.
Oh, difficult.
So it's not
No,
easy
it's
anymore.
easy.
not easy, yeah. Because sometimes I really want to do, like, I want to do this for my, like, I have to think about myself also. But as what I know, Ate Carol also said, na it's more on thinking about the family, your husband, and not just yourself. So, yun, um, it is difficult, but by God's grace, you can actually do it. But you have to really not rely on yourself alone. Okay, it's um there are times na I really want to cry and like, oh no, I want this to happen. But of course, I have to think of what he wants, the direction, and I know the Lord works in his life, and then the Lord really speaks to him. So, yun, sige Lord, guide mo siya, ako na lang sa follow sa kanya, ganyan. So, yun, it's not difficult. It's not easy, but by God's grace, it is. You can do it.
Nice. Amen. Thanks, Iz. How about you, Ate Carol? With the question. May
Uh, it was
Tamang-tama,
not.
umalis si Kuya Dino.
Yeah, you can tell. The
Ayun,
honest.
Sabi
nandyan
niya
pala,
sa
sorry. Nandyan lang pala,
he would really know. I really struggled with submission since our early years of marriage. I used to challenge his authority, because right, as how he described me in when I was in college, I was very independent. I was raised to not rely on any man to provide and all that. But that's like everything opposite of the Bible, right? For women. The man is supposed to be the provider, and how God's will for me may be through my husband. So that was really difficult for me to submit. After years of challenging him, I got really tired. Of course, by God's grace, I also had a lot of D group leaders, women who really attested to submitting to their husband, even if it was hard, even if they didn't want to. But God really turned things around for them in their situation. So I really decided, like, okay, I'll give it a go. I have nothing to lose naman except my pride. So yeah, by God's grace, I'm still learning to submit. There are still times that he's nothing.
No,
There's still
that's a
times
good
that
thing.
I
You're doing
really
great.
struggle because I still want to be, like, an independent woman. But the truth is, I'm not. I'm stuck with this guy. I'm one unit now with someone else. So there's no turning back, right? So yeah, it's still a challenge up to today. But lots of prayers, lots of depending on God, and really seeking His kingdom and His righteousness first. That's the only way that I feel that gets me through submission to my husband. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks, Ate Carol and at Iz. Thank you so much.
Kuya Nix, another follow-up from the follow-up question.
Okay, super follow-up. Okay, go.
Super follow-up, _final. Kasi
Follow up.
someone PM'd eh. To
Someone
Brother
PM
Dino.
or imuha na?
Oo. Hindi. Someone talaga to Brother Dino
Someone.
daw.
Okay, sige. Go.
To Brother Dino, how do you respond and what to do when the woman keeps challenging you or your authority?
Allah ka.
Oh, from experience.
Baka i-flex yan ni Kuya
So
Dino.
answer _final, go.
So
You slam the Bible down on the table.
In a marriage, diba, you're one, diba? And then there's only the two of you, right? In the beginning, especially, there's no kids. It's just you and your wife. And if you go to couples retreat, you'll find out one of the roles of a husband is to lead, to be a leader. So if you're a team of two and then you're a leader and then wala kang follower, how are you leading? Syempre, hindi ka maka-lead. So what do you do Tama, no? That's the question, Lane. So,
Yes
buti
po.
na lang si God sa design niya for marriage. We have more roles than just leading. So we're not totally incapacitated if we can't lead in that season. One of the roles, as you'll know, it's a couples retreat, is also that the husband is the lover of his wife. So when see Carol really had a hard time submitting to me in the beginning, it was all just butting heads, and I just wanted to quit because I'm a very submissive wife too, actually. In the beginning, I said, "I'll submit, you lead, because you're a good leader."
He wears the
No,
dress.
I wish I was joking. That's what I said. Pero we got corrected in our counseling. Mali yun, mali, Dino. Dapat ikaw lead. So as we tried to transition, that's where the hard part began. Pero yun, so I had to ask myself, why was Carol not following me? Was it because I'm a bad leader? Was it because in that moment I had hurt her and I haven't asked for forgiveness for it? So she's just pulling spite moves. Kaya ayaw niya mag-submit. Is it like that? Because sometimes it's like that. So we have to be loving. We are the lover. We have to be loving to our wives. Be gentle. That was really hard for me. Because for me, it's like you're sinning, right? Because you're not submitting. That was my first response. So parang, if you're gonna be tough, I'm gonna be tougher. Fine. I'll just lead with no follower, whatever. Executive decision every time. But respond in love, and part of responding in love is to be respectful. There's actually a passage, I don't have time to look for it now, but it says husbands respect your wives. Right? And there's even a promise that comes along with that, because if you don't do it, your prayers will be hindered. So lahat ng prayer request mo, no si Lord. So that's very black and white, right? You don't love your wife, then say goodbye to all your prayer requests. Just sabotage siya ni Lord. So yeah, that's what I tried to do, and until now, I do fail. You can ask Carol. I do fail, but buti na lang nga sabi ni Carol, diba? It's God who completes us. It gives us the power to forgive, to ask for forgiveness, to go on, be gracious to one another. Yeah, it's tough, guys. It's tough, but that's where we can apply yung command. Put yourself. You should regard everyone as being more important than you. So when you can't lead, then just regard your wife as more important than you, out of love for her, out of respect for her, and then do better. And then she'll see it. The Holy Spirit will show her na, see, kahit kalbo si Dino, you can trust him. You can trust, kahit nag-fail si Dino, you can trust him. So that's how it works.
Ayun. Hard work. Hard work talaga, Kuya Nix. And respect and love.
Tama.
Ayun. Respect begets respect din. Right? So,
That may balance sa ating may
correct.
Really,
Of course, Kuya Nix, Sly cannot escape the question.
How's that?
Sly cannot
Yeah,
escape
si
the
Sly.
question.
Oh, si Sly. So Sly, how do you
How do
you maintain your effectivity as a leader when your leadership is being challenged?
when easy is not being
When
easy.
easy, aside from brewing coffees, like how do you?
First, I would agree with Dino now. It's really tough, and especially for us, it's really takes a lot of patience, especially when easy challenges authority. But eventually, it really um, boils down to para sa inyong kayuhan na po sa inyong relationship ba. So how do I manage? So I listen to her. Sometimes she have a point, and sometimes I don't know. And maybe it's just it's her emotions only na naka-storya siya mga inato or and then you just don't let our emotions get that mag-control sa mua. And then key is communication. So we when we are faced with challenges or we disagree, especially when we disagree in a certain kind of mga decisions. First, dili me magpa-control sa emotions, or if nag-away na did me, may pa-cool down, then I would listen to her, and I think she would also listen to me sa aking mga points. Then that's the time we together we can decide things. Yeah.
Right, sakto no, like emotion should not parang overwhelm ang atong atong heart, 'di ba? So it's
Right.
good na parang mag-relax, step back. Coffee sa, and then balikan lang ang issue, di ba? Di ba, usually, bitaw. That's very practical, and I agree with Sly. No? Pwede
Listen daw, Kuya Nix. So, mo-listen daw siya ni Easy. So, oh man, we're made to listen.
Yeah, listen in a sense na you listen attentively, di ba? Pero at the end of the day, it's still the husband who will
Decide.
parang, yeah, they will drive the ship, man, di ba?
Correct.
So, it takes two to tango mangyapon, Ate Mayin, di ba? Alright, guys, thank you so much. Ate Mayin, maybe parang to parang hype up po nato mga friends. Actually, daghan ta dire dili lang kitang unom. Okay. So, before we go to the next question, yes, kindly text the number sa inyong screen. So, text your question so we can parang read it. And before we go sa next question, Ate Mayin, I just want to make a quick shout out lang sa atong mga friends karon. Kay Mark, hey brother, good evening. Kay Charlie, kay Ate E, hi Ate E. Kay Matt, Sir Matt, kay Clar, kay daghan din ako friends. Kay Han, hi Han. Kay Teacher Phil, kay Ellie, hi Ellie, and kay Denise. Okay.
Ako, Esther, dyan akong i-greet tonight, Kuya.
Sige, go.
Hi, Noreen!
Sabayan.
My
Pero
best
mo
friend.
magkuyog. Uy,
My best friend. Ano ba?
Napa si Sheena. Hi, Sheen.
Hi,
Mars.
Sheen.
Brother Mars. Kay CJ. Hi, CJ. And kay Romel. Hi, Roms. And kay Cherry. Hi, Cherry.
Hi, Cherry.
Alright, so guys, you are tuning in. Oh, grabe. Marajug ka ng kuhan ba?
Tonight's podcast.
Marajug CNN
Sorry.
ba? Yeah,
Very big Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you're watching our Q&A session tonight
Yes.
with our panelists, Sly, and his wife, Easy, and then si Kuya Dino and Ate Carol, sorry. Kuya Dino and Ate Carol. Okay. Sige, Ate Main.
Okay. Let's start. Okay, next question. Let's try. So of course, men were made to listen. So okay, this question is for the women. Okay, so it is commonly said that Christian women should not make the first move. So what are your thoughts on that? Is that a black and white area, or is it a bit blurry? And from a woman's perspective, we just want to ask, being the person, we are not the pursuer, but the ones being pursued. So is it also okay to pray for someone you are specifically attracted to?
Especially sa atong di ba? Age karon Ate Mayin. Like,
Right.
we're living in a 21st century. Basin pwede na ang girl. So,
Yeah,
guys, maybe you
bitaw.
can enlighten our friends, us, na pwede na ba ang girl?
Pwede na ba kami
Alam mo yun?
mag-first move?
Oo, kasi ang mga guys, ganahan na rin magpa-pursue. Or, yeah. So,
Yes.
who wants to, Ate May, who
Okay, back to Easy.
Okay, si Easy. Okay, go Ease. So, pwede na ba? Like, for you, or like...
How did you
For me,
For me, I must say, dalagang Pilipino na po ko.
Okay.
I always wanted to be pursued. But if I like someone, I would also pray to God. Of course, di man nato makip if we like someone. So,
Yeah.
I always pray to the Lord na if this guy is the guy for me, kato before. And then,
And then I don't want to pursue. I just want to be pursued because I know the Lord has pursued me. So as much as I want to be kanang want to make the first move kay lagi dugay kaayo ning guy uy nang sa kaning mga guys dili
Ang
ko
sorry mga guys.
dili
Sige,
first
malag
move
malagaw sa
kaayo,
mais.
diba? But
Kailan ko na? Kailan ko na?
Go.
so yun the Lord really reminded me na kanang to wait for him. So wait for the Lord. Psalms 27:4. Wait for the Lord. So, the Lord gave me kanang signs and like something to like what's ba? Something to like keep like kanang okay, so Lord, this is what I'm going to do. Wait for you. So I have to wait for that. Also for that guy to pursue me. That's all.
So, was
So
that
mga
lie?
guys, please
Joke.
pursue.
Ang to is.
Wait.
Ang sa daw? Murag na choppy si Isa atong apart na.
The choppy. Okay.
Okay, basta mga guys, make the first move for me. Take the first move.
Make the first move. Okay. Man, always making the first move. Okay, yun ang ingon ni team. Thanks, team. How about you, Ate Carol? What's your insight about that?
For me, there are some cultural differences, of course, in this world, but I think because, well, I'd like to think that in the Asian countries, we've more adapted to the fact that men will pursue the women, right? But I know for you guys, like your generation, it's a little bit different. But as Dino and I actually discussed this question, we were sort of wondering what you guys mean by first move. I think personally for me, if it's in the sense that just to ask a guy to hang out, I think it's okay because I think as a person who wants to get to know somebody that I'm attracted to, and when I say attracted to, I don't mean physically attracted to only, because as a single person, you're supposed to pray for the right man, the biblical man, or the godly man that God wants you to be married to, right? So let's say if this person has the attributes, these attributes that you've been praying for, I feel that it's okay for you to make the first move in order to get to know him better. But in terms of like the bigger things such as proposals, and all that, I believe, or for me personally, I feel it's best for the guy to do that because after you get married and after you get engaged, you get married. Who will be the one leading then? Will it be you or will it be your husband? So it's a sign. So once the guy proposes, he is then going to take on the role of being the leader of the family. So I believe in that setting, the first move in terms of proposals, the man should make the move. But in terms of
Casual
casual
first
dating,
dates.
first dates, I think it's okay for a woman, especially because right now, in Cebu, or statistically speaking, there are more and more single women now. And usually if we ask them how is it that they are single, usually if you really understand their lifestyle, they don't really, they don't socialize, they're really dug into their work. And I'm not saying it's not bad to be hardworking. But at some point you need to put yourself out there also to meet the person halfway for them to also get to know you. I think especially during this kind of generation wherein we're all stuck at home. I mean, these past few years, right? We've all been stuck at home. And how will you really get to know someone personally, right? If you don't hang out. Yeah, I think that's for me. Anything else that I missed? You want to add something?
It's only for women, unfortunately.
But yeah, man can give a POV. What do you...
Talaga?
Opo. You
Yun.
can give. Is it
Yun.
okay for us
Yeah.
us to make a first move?
And now, may mga very
Yeah,
interested
no, I
men that
really,
are smiling.
wrote down my answers.
Kasi pagod na sila.
Ala.
First off, I
Yeah,
want to address
persuading.
yung question ni Tim over the chat. It's not a biblical principle for men to make a first move. Why? Because there's no dating in the Bible. Back then, there was no first move. The first move was done by the parents. Everyone did arrange marriage, right? The guys and the girls, they never met. Sometimes they don't meet until engagement, or they don't meet until wedding day. No one made the first move. So I think the dating culture, and it is a cultural thing, the dating thing, and yung men pursuing, that's also a cultural thing because it's not biblical. It's what it is. So I would say it's great to answer the question. And I believe, yun nga, sabi ni Carol, if this is not you proposing or you approaching the guy's parents and saying, I'm very interested in your son, here are my intentions, yun yung parang weird yun. Until now, I think that's still unconventional practice. Some women actually do that now. I don't know if it's worked for them, but that's weird. Pero like Carol said, if you're interested in a guy, people shouldn't make a big deal of you asking him out. Go to coffee, talk a little, because I'm interested in you and I want to get to know you more. There should be, you guys are all in your 20s now. It shouldn't feel high schooly, na parang, wala na yun eh. Wala dapat yun eh. Right, but the tendency is, because cheesy tayo mga Filipinos, we like that. Because we see it in the movies too, di ba? 20-something na office at environment na, pero yee pa rin eh. Di ba, guys, come on. Di ba, parang girls, if you like a guy, just try to get to know him more. It's not like you're asking him immediately to be your boyfriend. You're just getting to know him. There's nothing, di ba? So just to close, for me lang, for the ladies, I'm not biased for the men here. This is cultural. So men, if you like pursuing and you know that the girl you likes to be pursued, then do that, right? Everybody's happy. But if you're not into that, and you actually wouldn't mind for a girl to ask you out once in a while, and then a girl does, then follow through. Accept the date, get to know the girl. And then for the ladies, for me, kasi, consider your preferences and why you're sticking to these preferences. Are you maybe unwilling to ask someone out and make the first move because you believe that culturally this is what we should continue as a heritage? Or baka you're just too shy, or you're afraid of rejection, because that's what we have to deal with as men, diba? We have to deal with rejection. Like, we should be rejected and then move on. Dapat kaya namin. Women, they're not used to that. So baka that's why you don't want to pursue. Check yourself. And then on the flip side, do you tend to make the first move because you sincerely believe it's okay to do? Like, there's no problem with that? Or is it because you're impatient? Because the usual process makes you feel like, I have to act now or he'll be taken by somebody else. So, just check the motives, check the intentions. But I think it's totally great, right? Especially in the here and now. Basta you're sticking to biblical principles. Just ask him out for a movie, ask him out coffee, share a meal. Yeah.
Wow, thank you Kuya Dino. Very very insightful. At Imayin, parang umiinit
Yes.
na yung
Oo.
discussion, parang
If you
mag-flex.
if you want to get to know them, serve with them. We need
Yan.
volunteers and big. Come.
Tama.
Serve with them. And, that's also one way to get to know the guy you like, right? Like, serve with them.
Tama.
Come here, we need volunteers and big.
Yeah, I agree with Ate Mayin, with Sir Dino, na the persuasion was really the pursuing was really designed for men, di ba? Jesus nga pinursu tayo tapos paay-ayi pa tayo, di ba? So it's really designed for men, the pursuing, di ba?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kuya Dino. And how about you, Sly? Did Sly answer na ba?
Wala pa. Okay.
Wala pa. Oh.
Slide.
Sly. So, paano ka pinurso ni Easy? So, how
Actually, I
about
agree
you,
with
bro?
them. Yes, it should be the guys who can make the first move. Okay, if you go back to the scriptures, or if you're reminded sa role as a husband, so husband should love their wife. So if you really want to pursue her, you make the first move, you show her, or you make the first move to para ma-show yung efforts sa iya or intentions mo. So you really have to step up. Okay, eventually if you will be together, that will be the guy's role to love their wives. So yeah, you have to make the first move, them guys.
Yun. Yeah, I think it's really parang parallel lang or connected lang on what Kuya Dino said, na which is Sly agreed yun. The pursuing is really for the men, di ba? Kumbaga, more innate na pag-create ni God sa atua men to pursue. Diba?
I just want to clarify.
Go, Sir Dino.
That wasn't what I said. For me, it's if girls want to pursue and the guys are okay
It's
with
okay.
that, then yeah, it depends on the culture, right? Sorry. Just want to clarify.
As long as not the part katunggingan ni Kuya Dino na the proposal,
Yeah.
the asking the marriage. Okay. So it's really exclusive for the guys. Okay. Thank you, Kuya Dino and Brother Sly. Ate Mayin, can you throw some medyo heavy stuff?
Heavy, right?
So since we're really rolling murag nanay momentum
Yes.
So maybe can you throw in some awakening questions?
Do you have a preference to your next? Let's there are categories here. There's breakups. There's dealing with
Go.
ano ba?
Yeah.
Ako juwas ka ni. Okay.
Yeah, go Ate Main. Go Ate Main.
Okay. So, how do you navigate pursuing someone you have prayed for and have received blessing from your spiritual family, but no blessing from parents?
So how do you navigate pursuing someone you have prayed for? So meaning na siya a blessing from spiritual family, maybe pastor, D group, accountability people, pero no blessing from the parents. So maybe we can start with Sly, bro. Since wala si Easy, so
you have our blessing.
Yeah,
okay, go.
blessing. So how do you navigate that, bro? Like in a nutshell, okay ang D group, okay ang alam mo yun, pastor, everything. Pero ang parents, they're not approved or
approve si next month.
Wala blessing. Let's say approve si team, approve si ako, pero the parents, it's no blessing. So how do you handle that?
Actually, for me, based on my experience, I really made it to the point na before I will first ask, of course, my parents, and then also Z's parents, if wala na, regardless if or kind of spiritual family or anyone else, if there's no blessing from the parents, both parents, I will really not push through. about marriage, no? Pursuing,
Yes, yes.
pursuing or
Pursuing, yeah.
so even if katong na-pursue pa ko ni Z, uh, just like she shared earlier, before I can confess my intentions kang Z. First, I came to her parents. Actually, that time, her mother was not ill. Her dad lang ako nastorya. So, yeah, I was kind of pursuing her parents first. I was trying to get blessings first from her parents before I kind of pursued her. So that's my own kind of, and I truly believe in that kind of way of pursuing someone. So yeah, it's really important to have the blessings first from the parents. For you.
Okay, so basically, you pursue mo ang parents first, no? That's why
Yes.
and once nakuha na ni Sly ang blessing sa parents, like everything just fell into place, di ba?
Yes.
Nice. Thanks, bro. Salamat for sharing that part. Ate Mayin, can I ask a hard it's grabe hard. Can I ask like parang awakening. Parang alam mo yun, we get lively tonight. I want to ask this question specifically kay Kuya Dino. Okay, kay close na kami, Kuya Dino. Online lang close. Okay. Okay, Kuya Dino, like there's a question. So there's a tendency na to girlfriend or boyfriend. So meaning they're in a relationship. Then there's a tendency na they will get alam mo yun, they will break up for some reason, diba? Maybe career, whatsoever. So meaning no third party. So it's just they broke up, and they are also part of the same church. Okay, this people. So and they find difficult to continue to grow spiritually on the same church. So is it okay that alam mo yun, someone will look for option of transferring to other church? Is that okay?
Yeah. Short answer is okay. If the church they're transferring to is Bible believing, Bible adhering, and a Bible obeying church, then it's okay. And then I have a rhetorical question for that. How many churches are like that in Cebu? What if you have a failed relationship in each of those churches? Because it leads to my answer. It's definitely an understatement to describe some breakups as hard. Okay, some of them are really terrible. Even if tulad nga ng sabi ni Nixman, no third party, it was something else. So the question itself implies that some aftermaths of failed relationships are so terrible that one or both of them feel like they have to transfer to another church. The truth is, it shouldn't have a significant impact in the long term of any Christian's spiritual growth. After all, spiritual growth is the development of our individual walk with Jesus, right? And if we're Christian, the number one relationship that we're cultivating and prioritizing is our relationship with God. Now, if our relationship with Him is our number one priority, just like our identity in Him is our number one priority, then dapat hindi yan na-shake up na kahit anong challenge in life. Even a romantic relationship that fails. Because if a failed romantic relationship will actually affect you to the point that you feel your spiritual growth becomes stagnant, then you have to ask yourself, was that relationship really less important than your relationship with God? Because if it's able to shake you to the point that you're even willing to say goodbye to your friends, say goodbye to your D group, your downline, your upline, your ministry partners, because it was that bad, then baka that was more important than your own relationship with God. So having said that, I encourage ask her or people who wonder about this. Ask yourself why it would be unbearable for the two of you to remain in the same church. If it's a matter of forgiveness, the Bible actually commands us to forgive. And if there's an opportunity to be reconciled, so that you can regard each other with civility and kindness, then that's even better. Kung pwede naman maging friends ulit, di ba? Kasi when you leave the church, you're not only leaving the girl or you're not only leaving the guy. Especially for people who have been with Big for a long time, been with CCF for a long time, you're saying goodbye to so many people because of breakup. So you have to figure out for yourself kung ano yung mas important mong relationship. With God ba, spiritual growth ba, or your romantic relationship.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Kuya Dino. It's very true, no, na parang reflection din yun. Parang heart check na what is really, sino na ba yung nasa sa throne? Is it the romantic love or the first love, which is our relationship with Christ? Diba? So, very, very, I hope you guys were encouraged with that. I'm not saying we all transfer. I mean, yeah, but I do hope that yun, there's more to that. Na katong sabi ni Sir Dino, maybe the forgiveness, di ba? Maybe the, alam mo yun, communication to patch things up, di ba? It's not really the heartbreak itself. Sir Dino, you want to say something?
Yeah, actually, I have an experience with that. We come from CCF Maine, and my ex also goes there. And it wasn't the kind of relationship that could lead to reconciliation, right? And CCF Maine is huge, but CCF Cebu is also huge, right? So CCF Maine, we would serve, we would even do hosting. So na-encounter ko talaga siya. And I just try to keep it civil. Like, keep it civil. If I can be kind, I keep it kind. There's no need to reconnect, no need to be friends again. But I don't let that hinder me. Of course, it's super awkward, right? It's super awkward. You think about the past, it's so super painful. You sometimes get angry, sometimes ask if you've really forgiven. But for me, it's God first. And God willing, if you're having trouble with this, then we can have more services. And then you can just watch out, diba? Saan ba siya nagsaserve? Tapos, doon ka na lang sa iba schedule para hindi na kayo nakikita, diba? Lumipat sa ibang ministry, pwede ka lumipat. You're still in CCF. Different ministry, different time slot for worship. Right? I mean, this ex of mine, na-meet pa namin siya sa Campus Retreat. O, diba? I got so stunned that Carol had to introduce herself in the conversation. Ganun ako ka-pathetic that day. I didn't expect to see her and her husband, right? And I wasn't able to say anything. Then si Carol parang, by the way, I'm Carol. Hi, yeah, nice to meet you. Ganun na si Carol. So it's super awkward. But that's the mistake, diba? It's part of the price you pay for the mistakes. But it should not, I mean, it's not about kung mahal mo CCF. It's about if you love God. Ano ba yung mauna?
Right.
Ayun.
Thank you, Sir Dino, for that very practical experience, na personal experience na shinare. Din na practical, personal experience that you have shared to us. Ate Mayin, I think sa bomb, drop the bomb.
First is, paano daw pag isang service lang, like 10 a.m., how can we skip?
Online na lang daw.
Hybrid naman hybrid. Online na.
Online na lang isa.
Okay, so ito, the last final bomb for tonight.
Yeah.
Ito, for partners who have deep wounds from past relationships, speaking of wounds naman, okay, as mentioned earlier, so ito, let's dive this one. So for partners who have deep wounds from past relationships, what are some healthy ways to cope through that in your current relationship, both for the person wounded and for the current partner that you are with? So, yes. So I'll repeat. For partners who have deep wounds from past relationships, what are some healthy ways to cope through that in your current relationship? So both for the person wounded and for the current partner that he or she is with.
Is
So,
with.
dito naman tayo kay Sir Sly,
Sir
Sly
Sly.
and Easy.
yung mga may hirap
Oo.
dapat kala Sly.
Ah.
Ano. Go, bro.
Relate ka.
Personally, mukhang ako na yung babae naman. From my own personal experience, I've been through three failed relationship, and it really sani naji kanang deep wounds did. And then thankfully I made a decision before I get into a new relationship, I really have to move on daan, because obvious naman if you really haven't moved on yet and you enter ka new relationship, luoy yung partner, because she had to endure, or you have to maybe sometimes argue about it kay mailan man jud sa imong actions. So so I didn't have to cope up sa among relationship, sa akong mga past nga relationship, because before I pursued Easy, I let go na dyan ako tanan akong past wounds. So it's really too easy, at really easy coping up sa akong current relationship, which is marriage. So just say advice lang to anyone, if you're going through, it's better to not enter any relationship if wapajud ka na move on.
So kumbaga Brother Sly, we need to parang settle the no. Like, I mean, in a way, with a graceful exit with that person, di ba? Para that person po, when she moves or he moves to her next season, will be a lot easier for the person. I mean, for the both of you, di ba? Wow. Thanks, bro. How about you, you want to add to that?
Yes, right. Technically, I'm also like that. That's why I asked him a lot of questions, because I also want to make sure na he's okay. Na I'm not something na it won't be like something like a revenge or great if he would do it or something. So I would ask him a lot of that's why we were talking about a lot about the stuff sa single life. I'm okay na, like I'm at peace na, okay, sige, I can commit with this person.
So she is not a revenge girlfriend or rebound girlfriend at that time.
Yeah. That's why Ate Mayin very very in a way Christ-like, if you do it like, alam mo yun, a graceful exit with your past relationship, diba? Be at peace. The Bible says to be at peace with everyone, diba?
Yes.
Thank you, Easy, Sly. How about Kuya Dino? Maybe si Ate Carol. You want to answer that question?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Sly said, and also Easy, regarding past wounds. I mean, wounds that you've had from your past relationship. Sorry, and sorry, I got distracted. Sorry, I'll read the question.
Okay lang. No problem, Ate Carol.
Healthy ways of coping. Okay. Yes, I believe that you're supposed to, if you ever there's a chance for you to break up with someone in the most peaceful way as possible, as in, you've really forgiven the person, you have really closed the chapter, and hopefully wala na yung wounds because you've already really properly closed that relationship off. But if you didn't weren't able to do that, and you jumped into the next relationship, which I did that when I was young, when I was in college. um I jumped into the next relationship right away, which was Dino, right after the person before him. And there was a lot of mixed feelings about a lot of things, a lot of paranoia, and that isn't healthy, right? So how I coped with it was, it was a good thing because Dino introduced me to God, and it really helped me process some things, some wounds in my past relationships. But most of all, for me, in that experience, I've learned that it's really important for you to talk about it with your current relationship, especially if they're okay with it. You can talk about it, and then that person hopefully will help you process also the wounds that you have experienced in the past, and hopefully the present person that you're dating will not, repeat the same things again. Like, let's say if it was cheating or something. I mean, right? So if or physical violence or something like that. So helping the person heal by talking about it is also something that you can do. And always remember that if the person is sharing to you about a problem that they've had or a wound that they've had in the past, please don't take it personally. It's not about you. It's about the other person that you're trying to help. They didn't experience these things to hurt you because they didn't know that ikaw yung next yung person, diba? So try not to take it personally. See the problem as see the person na lang as how Jesus would see them. Try to comfort them, try to heal them, or try to help them heal, right? So yeah, for me, those are the practical and healthy ways of coping from past relationships.
Definitely a lot of prayer, especially if your relationship is a Christian relationship. A lot of prayer. For the wounded party, there's a lot of prayer needed for healing. And of course, for the other partner who's supposed to be on support mode, there's a lot of prayer needed for God to provide that person grace so that she or he can be gracious to the wounded party and patience. Kasi sometimes it's so tempting if you're not the one who's wounded to just feel like I don't deserve this. I could do better. This is getting exhausting. I should break up, and that's fine too. Because some wounds they really damage the person. Hindi niya kaya to be in a relationship. Maybe not at that time, or maybe not ever. We don't know. So it's okay. Kung hindi mo kaya, you have to break up. But if you ask the Lord for grace and patience, and He gives it to you, you're being compassionate to the person you love. That's great. That's a good practice already. Kasi if ever kinasal kayo, that's what you're gonna do. There's no more breakup option. Diba? That's what's gonna happen. Someone with wounds is going to need healing, and the other person who is not as wounded in that aspect is going to need the grace and the patience to be able to help with that healing. Di pwedeng, grabe, damaged goods ka. I don't know what to do with you. No, of course you don't know what to do. Di ka nakaka-relate. So all you can do is be patient. All you can do is be gracious. And what's grace, diba? Is it for the people who deserve it? No, they don't deserve it. But that's why, diba? We don't deserve God's love, and yet He pours it upon us. So it's good. It's a good practice. Good practice.
Thank you, Ate Carol and Kuya Dino. So, so bottom line is to
Be
really,
gracious.
be gracious with people and to really extend yun para parang God will bless you as you move to the next season of your life, di ba? Kumbaga walang excess baggage or alam mo yun, mga ill
Yes.
feeling with people. Okay. Thank you, guys. Guys, we don't have much
Aw.
time, no? So we will just ask we will ask the final question for everyone, for the panelists. And so hopefully you can also encourage us. Okay. So this is the final question as we wrap up our Q&A segment. The question is, how did you guys enjoy the season as a single person? Okay, so can you still recall
How to
how
enjoy
did you enjoy
singleness season.
how to
Ayun.
enjoy how to enjoy your singleness season? Maybe by answering that you can
Kasi
also
parang
encourage
majority
us who
dito,
are still on
lahat
this.
single kuya. Sorry.
Of course, home court
Home
advantage,
court.
yeah.
Oo.
Home court.
How to
So,
enjoy
yeah.
singleness. Woo!
So hearing this, Ate Mayin, from the people who were there, and then na sila ngayon sa season of marriage. So maybe we can start with Sly and Easy. Any encouragement to how to enjoy the single season for our brothers and sisters who are listening tonight. Maybe you can share also your insights during that time. Ba?
How do you enjoy your single?
How did
How
do you enjoy? Yes, actually, I honestly enjoyed serving sa big sauna. Yes, it was really fun being with fellow mga CCFers, mga single. Yes. It's really I really serve. Especially nang kag time. So because if you if you get married, one thing jud ang pinaka na ang kanang transition jud is ang time management jud is really 24 hours is really kanang fast or kanang short. And you really have to prioritize first in si God and wife. Pero while you're still alat kanang mag-alat, better if makaalat ka more time to serve Lord.
and for serve the Lord and giving time for your family, like what he has experienced. Kay he's away from his family, so his parents, and then karon he's like, oh, I wish I had made some time for my parents. So I think you
will miss those
yeah.
Times. So while still single, spend more time in family. It really helps to so when you're married na, hindi bitaw para sa feeling karon
Dugay ka lang niyo, tapos wag ka nag-experience enjoy your season, like enjoy the season you are in right now, because sometimes I look back and say, hala, how I wish I could have done that. Sometimes how I wish I could have travel more, or like do something na fun and exciting and stuff. But when you're there and you're married, okay, so I have to think of him. I have to think of the gastos. I have to think of before I could just do it, diba? And if I mean, the Lord has also, if the Lord tells you to do something, you just do it and just really do it. Because if you're married, I mean, there are opportunities naman to serve as a married couple, but if you're single, you can be anywhere and anytime you are available. So yun, I think that's
Right.
it. Enjoy!
Yeah.
Enjoy,
Bitaw,
guys!
bitaw. Back out na. Back out with baby.
Back out na lagi.
How much
Iyain mo
more
lang
if
daw.
you can have me baby?
Yeah,
Di
how
ba?
much more? How much
Ah,
more with
Mm.
with the family.
more jud,
They
more
have
jud.
kids na they have children. Pwede ba
Ibilin lang
daw
sa daw ang ano, is.
ibili lang si Sly.
Dili, ibilin lang ang baby kay Hana. Yeah, mag-enjoy lang mundo.
Ibili ng baby kay Sly.
Bibili kayo sa bitaw, bitaw.
Pero may
That's very true.
Kuya Nix, ibilin ang baby sa mga single. Kay bored ba yan?
Na, loya sa
Pwede lang.
baby, right? Ang baby ba? Mo nang kalingawan sa
Pag hindi ka
bored.
makas-
Bored ay tabi. Pero I appreciate yung answer ni Sly na spend more time with your family, especially parents. Okay, reality, they're not getting any younger naman, di ba?
Yeah.
So, if that's one element in this life na dili na pwede i-rewind. And that is time. So, wait lang, parang ako panelist ah. Hindi, okay na.
Oo nga, okay na.
Okay. wala ko yung apelo eh. Sige, mamaya ako. Anyway, Slide, Is, thank you so much. So, it's really about time. Spend more time. Kumbaga, utilize that time. Enjoy that time.
Maximize
So
your
that
time.
maximize that time, Ate Mayin. So that when you enter the next season, no regrets, di ba? Na-use. Thank you, Sly and Is. Again, congratulations sa upcoming baby. Naray mga tita diri online na pwede ra ninyo i-hire. So, i-text na sila. Pwede ra gid mo man laag ni Sly. Ibilin lang ang baby nila. Okay. Sige. To Kuya Dino and Ate Carol, the same question, and then maybe words of encouragement to our singles ministry.
I'll go first. Wow, I think the Lopez has mentioned a lot of things that I really agree to. From my experience, I didn't really enjoy so much being single. I guess I say I don't enjoy it so much because I think I spent too much time being in relationships that now that I look back on it, I wish that I had spent more time because like when you're in a relationship, you have so much pictures with your boyfriend, right? Like you go to prom with your boyfriend, you go here and there with your boyfriend, and as soon as you break up, all the pictures are gone. And especially if you've been married, if you've been dating for a long time. And so before Dino, I was dating another guy for 3 years since high school to college. So imagine like all that 3 years of memories is gone. It's like I had no life whatsoever, right? It's like I didn't exist for those 3 years. So in my regret, I had wished that I had spent more time with friends. I had spent more time doing other things, enjoying the season that I had, which was, really my own. I wasn't a Christian also back then. So I would like to, I wish that if I were Christian back then when I was single, I wish I would have served more, gotten out there, served God, because as soon as you're married, things just really change because it's not about you anymore. It's you're divided now with somebody else. And then there's the kids number one, kids number two, and then you just it's just you're not you're not your own person anymore. You just I'm not encouraging you guys to get married, am I? No,
Yeah. Like,
no, but don't get me wrong, marriage is fun, okay? It's woohoo, but what's happening? Oh, okay. I do understand how it is to be single. I know sometimes it gets lonely. I know sometimes it feels, especially with the pandemic and if you're the only child, I know how sometimes being lonely can really eat you up, and you want to be in a relationship because you're so lonely. But if I were you, I really encourage you guys to work on your relationship with God. Because, like I said earlier, that loneliness, that void in the fairy tale, no one, no relationship, no spouse of yours can ever fill that void, not even when you're married. Okay, and so that's my encouragement to you, because that's the mistake I did it. That's the mistake I did, So I feel like, it's so tiring to hear that over and over again. Have a relationship with God, have a relationship with God. But it's true. Have a relationship with God, and you will feel happy. You will feel the joy of being single. And don't get me wrong, it's okay to pray, especially if you want to get married. I know a lot of people who have been single for a while, and they really enjoyed being single. And when they got married, they were also happy as well, but they felt complete the whole time when they were not married yet, or when they weren't even dating. So yeah, that's my encouragement for you guys to really put yourself out there for God. Join a D group, lead a D group, help out in the ministry, the big events. That's also one way to meet the person that God may want for you. And stop thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about my loneliness, or when am I gonna get married, or God, me, when are you gonna give me, right? Give to God, because just like the scripture said, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and what? And what?
All these things shall be added unto you.
Exactly.
And
So,
she
right?
will be added unto you.
Or that too. Yeah, so that's for me.
God.
All really good points. I would also agree with Sly. Maximize time with family. Because that was one of my joys as a single person, especially in working now, because you get to treat your family back, you get to treat your parents back. It's a wonderful thing, and I think it's a wonderful thing because it's part of God's design. God wants you to honor your parents. And so when you get to treat them as a single person, spend time with them, take care of them, bring food for them, and then just take care of them. Yeah, at your current age, it's fun because that's God's design. And so just talking about God's design, it's Psalm 37:4 for me. You delight in the Lord, He will give you the desires of your heart. Right? And maybe there are some people here whose desire is not marriage, and that doesn't make you less of a person. You're not a bad Christian if you don't want marriage. It's okay. Kasi nga, God completes you. You're not your spouse, not somebody else. God completes you. So delight in the Lord, and yun yung sinabi nila na to serve. That's delighting in the Lord. Spending time with family, that's delighting in the Lord. Having wholesome fun with friends, that's delighting in the Lord. And then makikita mo, if some of your desires are in the wrong, God will give you the right desires. You will find yourself wanting things you didn't like before. Like for those who aren't old Christians, sino ba naka-imagine dito na, you know what would be fun on a Saturday is to do like a ministry. That's fun. Di ba? I mean, I've been there. And for me, that's ridiculous. It's a waste of time. Well, that's not fun. But He gives me new desires because I delight in Him. So that's number one. And then honestly, I don't know how to answer the question, because I'm sure having fun as a single person is easy, right? I mean, I don't believe that you guys are bored. Single people, super easy to have fun. You just go out, stay up until 12 or past 12, even in a McDonald's with friends, just talk until 4.
You guys have
so
the
much fun.
freedom, enjoy it.
Diba? So, I mean, lalo na pag may kids na, yan na, wala na talaga social life. Bye-bye. So,
Wala na social life.
Yeah, so, I don't think I have to give you any tips on how to have fun as a single, aside from delight yourself in the Lord. And then I guess if you're really asking for tips, Luke 2:52, how Jesus grew up, diba? And there's 4. So when you're picking your activities, this should be your criteria, right? How did Jesus grow? He grew up in wisdom. He grew up in stature. He grew up in favor with men and favor with God. So when you're looking at your planner and you're looking at your activities, The ideal is lahat ng activity mo is 4 out of 4 check. Di ba? Makes you stronger, makes you healthier, makes you wiser, makes you smarter. So yung mga activities mo makes you even sharper. And then it cultivates good relationship with your lateral, the people around you. And then the vertical, with God. So, you know, if all your activities in every day is 4 out of 4 check, you're gonna have fun. Because that's how God wanted you to live. Single or married. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Kuya Dino and Ate Carol for those words of encouragement to us. But indeed, regardless what
Yes.
season, it's a win-win, di ba? As long as you are in the Lord, it's really win-win, di ba?
Amen.
So thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Kuya Dino and Ate Carol for that. Wow, alright. Ay, sabi sa'yo, Ate Mayin, kape na lang eh. Okay na okay. Ganun ang discussion.
Coffee paired with
Yeah.
croissant.
So,
Baked.
diba? Hopefully next Q&A. Pero thank you so much guys for that very insightful answers, no. And guys, my brothers and sisters for listening, if you parang were encouraged, you were blessed, you were na-inspire mo with our sa atong mga panelists, can you just give appreciation? Like, can you just give like a heart react, clap,
Yes.
celebrate,
Thank them in the
whatever.
chat box.
Thank them in the chat box, add them in Facebook, di ba? Buy their, just kidding. So, di ba? So, thank you again, Kuya Dino, Ate Carol, Sly, and Iz. We're very, very blessed and thankful to have you tonight. And we're so parang encouraged or inspired in a way to really hearing your answers. And we do hope to parang hindi lang ni siya the last time that we can have a talk with you guys, di ba? So, Ate Mayin.
Yes. Thank you so much once again to Mr. and Mrs. Lopez and Mr. and Mrs. D. Ayun. So, when in doubt, of course, don't forget to pray and really read the word, you guys. Always the best compass out there is your Bible. So don't neglect your quiet time with the Lord. Don't neglect God's